We are looking at my Clover Ridge Cowl, and we are going to learn how to pick up the stitches from the provisional cast-on edge. First, you're going to need to gather a couple of tools before we do this. One is a pair of scissors, 2 will be a locking marker, and 3 will be a second gauge size needle. Next, we're going to view the tails. You should have 3 of them. 2 will be from your scrap yarn that you use to create the provisional cast-on. I always recommend that you use a lighter color and a smooth yarn. If you use one that's really fibrous, it's going to be a little bit of a pill to pull out your stitches. The third strand is going to be your self-striping yarn that you chose as your main color. Next, we're going to look to the left as the pattern describes, and you are going to be looking for those additional 5 chains. You're going to use your scissors to cut that tail shorter and or the point of your needle to go ahead and pick out or pull out that gentle knot that you made. When you do that, I'm going to do that one more time. When you do that, your tail should easily start to pull out and point you in the direction of your stitches. Next, I like to take that last loop and lift it up in the air a bit, and it's going to free up some space where you can go ahead and find the leg, the right leg of your stitch. Your goal is going to be to pick up the right legs of your stitches, one at a time, working from right to left. Each time you do that, you will pull out 1 stitch of your provisional cast on. Get that tail out of the way. Again, we're picking them up 1 at a time, working from right to left until you have completed picking up all of your stitches. When you pick up a traditional provisional cast on, you are usually left with a stitch that you need to complete, meaning you are down half of a leg. So in this example, we're picking up 84 stitches. Normally, you would be picking up 83 and a half and have to complete that 84th stitch. Due to the way that this pattern was created and the threads from your inlay stitches that weave, you will be picking up all 84 stitches, which is a nice thing. As you go, if you find that you get some fibers caught, you can pull gently to undo them, or you can use just the blade of your scissor, and away you go. I just finished picking up my stitches from the provisional cast on, and you should be looking at the same thing that I am. Stitch number 1 is on your left needle, with the main color tail coming from back to front underneath and laying off to the side. Stitch number 84 will be on your right needle. Take a moment to locate the bar in between stitch number 1 and stitch number 84 and place a locking marker on that bar. Be careful not to catch any of the floats or things from the back. This is going to mark your new temporary beginning of round. Located directly below it are 2 strands of your contrast color that created an inlay float, and they should be parallel and again directly below this new temporary beginning of round marker. Take a moment to count your stitches and confirm that you have 84 before moving on. Next, you're going to relocate your beginning of round by slipping stitches from your left needle to your right. You're going to slip them purlwise 1 at a time, and you're going to slip over 42 stitches. Again, that number is 42 stitches. When your knitting is complete on your Clover Ridge Cowl, you're going to weave in the short ends and block as per the pattern instructions. When complete, you're going to put your stitches back on the needle. I have just picked up the stitches that were from the last round that I worked, put them back on the needle, and placed a locking marker to mark the beginning of round. Next, you're going to look to your right needle and find that first stitch. Gently lean your work towards you, and you're going to take a second locking marker and you are going to mark the back leg of that first stitch. Just be careful not to catch any fibers. This will be important in the future. Let's go ahead and push that to the side. Next, you're going to take your main color and thread a tapestry needle so you are prepared for your graft. Now we're going to work with our provisional end. I've completed picking up and slipping over 42 stitches and have marked my new beginning of round. This is my new stitch number 1 and my new stitch 84. You're going to take a locking marker and you're going to look for the first stitch on your left needle. And you're going to mark the front leg of that stitch. These markers are important because they're going to mark where you land your last grafted stitch in the future. Next, you're going to take this provisional cast on and lay it off to the left and get yourself all situated. Get anything out of the way before moving forward. Next, you're going to bring your stitches into the center of your work. You're going to have the tubes facing north towards the sky. Confirm that your provisional cast on needle tips are facing you towards your stomach and that the tips from the last round that you worked are facing away from you. The needles need to be facing opposite. This is important because when you go to join and begin your graft, it's going to create a gentle twist in your work. Next, you're going to bring the stitches from your right hand up to match the stitches in your left. You're going to focus on the needles in your left hand and you're going to pivot them 90 degrees to the right. Take a moment to make sure that your contrast inlay yarn is out of the way. Go ahead and grab your tapestry needle that's loaded with your main color, and you are going to be starting with the first stitch on the needle that is closest to you in your left hand. And I'll see you on the other side.